Hi, welcome to a VNN special interview. A recent report from New York has said that the businesses owned by women in Canada and the United States have thrived despite the many disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. We have with us today one such successful businesswoman from Oklahoma City, Ginger Sloan, who is a serial entrepreneur. And let us hear what she has to say about women in business. Welcome to the VNN channel, Ms. Sloan.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, there was a recent report from New York which said that 1 in 3 entrepreneurs in North America are women. Why do you
That's
think,
right.
why do you think that women succeed and thrive with new business ventures?
Well, currently we do have somewhere in the number of 12.3 million women-owned businesses here in the US, spending over $7 trillion a year. And I just believe that during this pandemic, we had so many women that had to work remotely from home. And while they were doing that with their normal career that they had had maybe for years, they had an opportunity in being home to create what I like to call a side hustle. And as the pandemic restrictions eased up and we were able to go back to the offices, I think what you found was a lot of those side hustles that had been created during the pandemic became permanent career moves. And those women, I believe it's 1 out of 4, did not go back to their previous jobs. So opportunity presented itself in the midst of, an environment that none of us wanted to see. I mean, the pandemic had a lot of horrible things that it brought, both here in the US as well as internationally.
It has been reported that entrepreneurial activity rates of women in 2020, 2021, it was quite strong at about 13.6% in the US and higher, 13.9, almost 14% in Canada. What do you think is the reason for this?
Well, I believe that there's a very low cost of entry right now to open up a business, primarily those that are internet and online based. And so that we have found, I think it's the early 2000s, there's 50% increase in females owning businesses. And that has stemmed from, like you said, during the pandemic in the last 2021. And I don't think that we're going to see it slow down. I think females are being very successful at their online ventures, and they're not going back to work outside of the home.
So do you think it is easier for women to get venture capital than for male entrepreneurs?
Typically before, I might have said not so much, but given the fact that we've had all of the economy boosting monies available through SBA and PPP loans, being a female, you're considered a minority. And that goes on a point system. And so, yes, there have been a lot of funding available for females who need it for startups or for current businesses that are surviving the pandemic. And so my answer to you would be yes, I do think during this time, there's also been education. And we all know that education is power and knowledge that is available now that wasn't before. And a lot of females probably hadn't even attempted to get any venture capitalist funding or any startup monies that now were available all over the place. I think females just took advantage of that and have done a fabulous job at it.
I mean, you're a Native American, I believe?
I am. I'm a Choctaw citizen.
So has that helped or hindered you in your business ventures?
Oh, it's always helped, always. We discussed a while ago having minority diversity, and I do fall in that category. I'm female, and all my companies are woman owned since I'm Native American. And so that has always been something that has, in my opinion, has helped me when soliciting contracts or, just business in general. are becoming more aware that using a minority business has a lot of benefits to it in the realm of tax credits and benefits.
How many businesses have you opened since they say you're a serial entrepreneur, isn't it?
Oh, I've probably done 4 or 5. My core competency is healthcare. And so I do have a healthcare technology firm that specializes in patient data. I also have had a building maintenance firm. And then we also do consulting to handle all of the back end operations and paperwork in the cannabis business.
It's quite a job, isn't it, to manage all these affairs?
Yes. Well, you know what? Excellent teams built of other females that just work hard and do a super job. So, one thing for sure, that we are only as good as our weakest person that we work with. And so I want to build everyone up on my team. They all do a fabulous job, and it allows me to do things like this to encourage other women.
Mhm. Tell us about your initiative, for the interns for economic empowerment of women. I think that's quite.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's such a pleasure to be able to help host and mentor with that. So, with IEEEW, it is an organization that focuses on female business owners in both Afghanistan as well as Rwanda. And they come over to the US every year. Typically, it's in the early summertime. They study in Dallas at the AT&T Center. And then they come to Oklahoma to be paired with mentors of like businesses, and we have an opportunity to have them, stay in our homes, work with us in our careers and our businesses every day, and just have it's a real opportunity to both learn from them as they learn from us, increase their knowledge and their skills, and learn from how we females here in the US run our businesses, and be able to take that education and that knowledge back to their home countries and their communities, and create a stable, peaceful economy, which is what we're all looking for, both here and abroad.
Do you get funding for this organization from the government?
We do have sponsors that help. I personally am a mentor sponsor. So we do not, us mentors don't make any money from doing it. It's strictly volunteer. But we do have commercial sponsors that help with this program to scholarship these women to be able to come over here and to take back an amazing experience and education process.
Are there large numbers, or many of them from Afghanistan and Rwanda?
Typically, it runs between maybe, I would say, 30 to maybe 40 every year. And then that's in the in-person training, but they also have virtual training for these women all year long. So it's just an amazing organization, IEEEW.
IEEEW. Anybody from Canada involved in your work or enterprises?
I actually have worked recently with trying to help secure some businesses that some females are wanting to buy here in the US from Canada. But I typically don't, I currently have any clients that I'm serving in that area.
What is your advice to women who want to become entrepreneurs? Is there anything?
This is a remarkable time. If it's ever been your dream, if the thought has ever crossed your mind, research, do your due diligence, be concise and very clear about what you're wanting to do, and then don't be afraid to reach out and find a mentor. If you just look online, there are many organizations that you can be a part of. Find someone to walk you through it, and be prepared for their for humps. There are going to be bumps, but being proactive, having a clear business plan, and knowing what you want to do is the key. But in this time right now, it's an amazing time to just jump in and consider doing what you've always dreamed of.
I mean, this New York report said that the women entrepreneurs are considering hiring up to 6 or 7 workers, 7 new employees this year for the next 5 years. I mean,
Mhm.
is in your organizations also, do you have this? I mean, how many employees do you have in? Uh,
We are hiring. We actually are. So mine again is technology based. All of my employees, my team members, they all work from home because we serve our physicians via a platform in the cloud. So as we grow and we hire more, we grow and we obtain more clients, then we automatically start that hiring process. So we're very much looking forward to this year being able to add to our numbers.
your first company was something involved with cannabis, isn't it?
My first company, no. My first company is at healthcare technology. I do have a cannabis company that is called Sliders, and that's actually a nano emulsified product, a tasteless uh, cannabis liquid that a patient can microdose at their own speed versus just buying a product that has already 10, 15, 25, 50 milligrams, whatever it may be. Oklahoma is a medicinal marijuana state. And so we just felt like it was really important to make sure that the patients had the availability to self-dose as they needed and to not have the yucky taste. So that's the product that we have.
But it is still not legal in many states in the US, isn't it?
Yeah, right. I think we probably have somewhere around 36 to 38 states that it's either recreational is legal or medical marijuana has passed. So we still have a few more to go, but it is making very good traction.
I mean, here in Canada, of course, now it's been legalized, and even if you go into small towns, you get there are cannabis stores selling
Hmm.
cookies and cookies and whatnot. I mean, what about
Edibles are very popular.
yeah, edibles are very popular. Yeah, of course, and we'll have to see
Hmm.
that it doesn't get into the hands of children. That's a problem
That's
here.
right. Yeah. Yeah. We have lots of regulation coming out both here and in other states in proper packaging that's child proof and obviously we do believe that that's necessary and that it's so very important that as parents and patients have the marijuana in their homes that the children are protected.
And what about the balance between say business and the family life for women entrepreneurs? They have to maintain a
Well,
balance. It's tough.
you're right. There has to be it's a tough balance. But I think, women are resilient. And again, looking back and talking about the pandemic, women comprise 70% of frontline workers. And so some were still on the front line going into their jobs. Others were at home, and you automatically became a daycare worker, an educator of your children. You were still doing your full-time job that you brought home with you. Like women were hit so very hard with the pandemic and those roles and responsibilities. But even in that, like I said, women are resilient. They did a marvelous job, and I think the outcome was that they ended up starting these new businesses, and we've just seen such an increase and spike in female entrepreneurs over the last couple of years.
Any advice for young Canadian women who want to venture into this into business world?
Absolutely. It's, being self employed is not for everyone, but if you believe that it is for you, again, do your due diligence, seek out a mentor. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Allow yourself some grace. If you understand, it's not always going to be easy, but you can do it. Being an entrepreneur is such a rewarding way to live, and being able to help, especially not only mentor other females, but being able to help other women provide for their families. So if, again, it's not cut out for everyone, but if you're a female thinking that this may be something that you want to do, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Sloan. It was very interesting to talk to you, and sort of you gave us an insight into what into women in businesses. And thank you for appearing on our VNN channel.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.